welcome to IMM number 12.
This
Today
is Libby Block, and I'm Marmalade Libby, Angie, and this is...
Libby Reads, Rachel.
And we are just, it's really late. It's like midnight. So we're weird, okay?
Sorry.
I'm just going to tell you right up front that we are really weird because it's really late and we're really tired.
You
anyway.
might be, but I'm not.
It's because Rachel's weird all the time.
Oh, dang.
That's what you get. Okay.
I am weird.
So
whatever.
what are we back from? We are back from Anderson's Bookshop.
Perfect.
Beautiful. We have heard lots of rave things about them. They are in Naperville. I'll make sure I put a link to them down below. And so anyway, we've heard lots of rave things about them, but we've never gone before. And so there were 4 authors there tonight from Harper Teen. It was the Spring into the Future tour, and I will show you.
Yeah.
They had posters for us that they encouraged you to take as many as you wanted, and they signed them.
Isn't that beautiful?
And I don't know why I can't ever get this right on here.
This is good.
There you go.
So we've got.
So they signed them all, so we each got one. She can put one in her classroom.
I'm putting one in my classroom. That's right.
So the kids will love that. And we took lots of pictures. I'll put those below. And we bought a lot of books. So I already had Under the Never Sky. It's written by Veronica Rossi, Harper Teen, and it is a futuristic world where the people live in domed cities, protected domed cities, and they are linked up online all the time in these realms. They have on their left eye, I believe, there is a kind of like a patch or an eyepiece that's connected to them all the time, I think maybe neurally, and they are in the realms. That's how they live, and they interact. Okay, so what you didn't see is that Marmalade, my crazy cat, just jumped up on the couch next to Rachel. See, and freaked her. Look, there he is.
Scared me a minute.
He cares so much about us that he's not even paying attention. Anyway,
Their mascot.
yeah, he's excited that we're still awake. Anyway, nobody else is. So anyway, it's good. What I really like is the plot of the story, that she gets blamed for something that she didn't do and gets kicked out of this domed city, and then she meets a boy and who she thinks is going to be a barbarian and a savage, and he ends up she ends up learning that he's really not, and that it's really not as scary on the outside. So it's cool
I
world.
wasn't sure that I wanted to read this. Like, if it gets too sci-fi, then I'm not quite into it. But then when we heard her speak about it tonight, she told me something I didn't realize, is that it was told from 2 different characters' perspectives.
Yes.
Which is something I tend to enjoy. So it made me a little more curious about it. Maybe I'll actually
Right.
check
So it goes
out.
back and forth between both the boy and the girl. So
Exciting.
that was Veronica Rossi.
Then I'll hold up Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. She did tell us tonight that you can go to her website and you can listen to a pronunciation of how to say her first name correctly. So I thought that was pretty cool. I haven't read any of these actually by the authors that we got tonight, but that just makes me even more excited to get into them. But I really love the back of this and what it says.
The front when she shows the back.
Yeah. It says, I have a curse, and that's crossed off. And then it says, I have a gift. And then it says, I'm a monster, and that's crossed off. And then it says, I'm more than human. And then it says, my touch is lethal. And then that's crossed off. And it says, my touch is power.
That's great.
And then it says, I am their weapon. And that's crossed off. And it says, I will fight back. And from what the author told us, that back to me now represents actually the journey that the main character is going to go on, because she emphasized that it's about kind of the change that the girl goes through in this.
And that she grows a lot. She really talked about that. So.
By the way, hopefully you realize from the back about, being a monster and a human, that this is also a dystopian story with a little bit of...
Yeah. I thought it was interesting because Rachel's talking about how much she likes the cover, and one of the questions that somebody asked tonight was, how much do you get to pick the covers? How much say do you have in the covers? And they really said they pretty much don't have anything to do with the covers, that they're basically maybe a day ahead of time. They're told, here's the cover, don't you like it? And then you're like, and then they're like, sure. So I thought that was interesting. I had no idea that they had really no say at all in it. Anna Carey did say that she was asked ahead of time by the artist to come up with a list of words to guide her. But other than that, they said they had nothing to do with the covers. So that was really interesting. So the other author we met was Anna Carey, and she was so funny. She was great. She had great stories, and she was just hilarious, really silly. This is Eve, and it's also Harper Teen. They all are Harper Teens. Eve is it's a dystopian, so it's in the future, and she is in a school. They're all together living in a small community. It's only girls, and the teachers are all women, and they have taught them that they're learning skills because they're going to go into a specific trade. They're being trained to be put into a specific trade to, help out and better themselves. And then apparently she learns that that's not really what's going to happen to them, that something else is going to happen to them. And so she escapes and runs off and runs into what she has been taught is one of the scariest things, a boy. They have been taught to run away from guys, and that it's very dangerous to be around men. So, and then I'm guessing that she finds out it's not that scary. So, but it's very, very adventure. She talked about that it's adventure. So I'm excited about that. I have not read that one. So
me either. So
and then
we have So then we have Unearthly and Hallowed
by Cynthia Hand. Unearthly is the first one. It came out last January. Hallowed is the second book. It came out this January, and then the third will come out next January. Yeah. She said there's a method to the madness, apparently. I've read Unearthly, and it is angels. So, angels.
And I liked the idea that she said that Claire, the main character in this first book, once she finds out she's an angel, her goal is to figure out what her purpose is. And I love that kind of like.
And that's what she does. That she has a vision, and she has to figure out what it is. What is she supposed to do? Is she supposed to save somebody? Is she supposed to? It's a fire, so is she supposed to put the fire out? What is she supposed to do? So, and I'm not really giving much away by telling you that her whole family has been uprooted by this. Their mother says, okay, you've gotten your vision, we're going where you need to go, and she uproots their whole family and moves them. Well, because the mother is part angel too, right? So that's another part of the struggle, Yes, they all are. So
they know what's required.
That's another part of my cat is insane. He keeps knocking things over.
So that's it from the authors we saw tonight, right?
Those were the authors that we saw tonight. But, of course, we're in a bookshop, so it's sort of difficult to resist purchasing more. So Rachel got two of our fun ones that we love. Middle grade,
but it doesn't matter,
I love these
I'm
books.
an adult and I enjoy these.
I love these books.
So I got book 1 and 2. There are 4 as of right now.
The 4th is coming out very soon. 4th isn't out yet.
No, I thought 4 was there.
It's in our waiting on Wednesday.
But I think it came out, because I think there was a number 4 there. Or wait, is it number 5 coming out?
No, 4. I don't know.
There was a 4 there. Maybe it was from her other series, because she does have another series. Anyway,
okay.
I got
series
book 1
is
and
called
2. It's called 43rd Old Cemetery Road. And the first book is called Dying to Meet You, and the second book is Over My Dead Body. And they're by Kate Kleiss, and they're illustrated by Sarah Kleiss, and they are a Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, published by them. And they're just, I don't know how to describe them. They're like mysteries, and isn't there a ghost?
But there's lots of media in it. That's what there's letters, there's drawings, there's postcards, there are like the admission paper.
I love the fact that the story it begins with the cast of characters, and there's portraits of them, and with little descriptors, like Ignatius B. Grumpy, a famous author of children's books.
Well, and it takes place in Ghastly, Illinois. I love it.
Great.
There's stuff like that throughout the whole entire thing, you know? So, yeah.
Frankenbeans.
There's an author called Olive C. Spence. Get it?
Frankenbeans is the private eye. His first name is Frank.
Yeah.
That's an unfortunate middle initial.
All right. What did I grabbed? The girl, look. Okay, I'm done now. But the girl in the steel corset, I had to own it. Literally my favorite book ever. By Katie Cross, put out by Harlequin Teen. There is a prequel that is only available as an ebook, called The Strange Case of Finley Jane, and then this is the first full book in the series. I just read the second book recently. It's not out yet, but they are just awesome. Steampunk adventure. There's a group of friends who end up kind of being this crew. It reminds me of Buffy, but you know how there's a group of people, but she's the butt kick main character in it all. But then there are the other characters that help out and have their own special skills. And the thing I love the most is that this is all based off of those old classic sci-fi books like Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and The Invisible Man. And those are what this was built out of. Without those, you wouldn't have this. And I love those. Those are some of my absolute favorite books ever. So anyway, I love these. So anyway, I was very excited. I had to. Oh, anyway, Partials is by Dan Wells. It's put out by, I think, Harper Teen. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm sorry, Harper Collins. I love the tag on here. The only hope for humanity isn't human. And what's happened in this world, it's a dystopian, is that there has been a war where partials have taken over. The humans created partials. They're like androids, but they look exactly like people. You wouldn't know if you're standing next to one. And but they created them to be their workers, and then they gave them no rights, nothing. So they rebelled and took over, and the only humans that they know of that are left are on, is it Manhattan? The island in New York where everybody is? Yeah. And I'm talking it out, I can't remember. And so they all live on there, and she's sure that there are others, or that there is a way to save them all, because their babies are dying. That's the big issue in the whole thing, is that when you turn a certain age, you have to get pregnant, whether it's with a fella or whether you're inseminated. It's your duty to do that. It's a law. And the problem is that they're having and the babies just die, like within a day. So they're trying to figure out. So there's a lot of science in here. She does a ton of science. She's sure she can figure out the answer. And what she decides is that she has to catch a partial to
What's the main character's
do testing on. Why do you have to ask me the hard questions?
It's
I don't
probably right
remember
here.
anymore. But I just remember it was so good. Adventure, Kira. Lots of, yeah. So lots of adventure and lots of science. So if you're really interested in science, this is one for you too. She does a lot of experiments and there's a lot of science in there. And then the other one that I got that I thought was fun that they had an autographed copy of at the bookstore was Starters, which I've been dying for. It sounds like it's very up my alley. It's another futuristic dystopian, but it's, you know, much more sci-fi based. And from what I understand, it reminds me of the show Dollhouse. So if you were a fan of Dollhouse, and I was a huge fan of Dollhouse, that's what this story sounds like. It's by Lissa Price and put out by Delacorte Press. And she, you can earn money and all of that in her society if you let this company rent out your body, basically, to people who are too old anymore, from what I understand. It says, her world is changed forever. Callie lost her parents when the Spore Wars wiped out everyone between the ages of 20 and 60. She and her little brother Tyler are on the run, living as squatters with their friend Michael and fighting off renegades who would kill them for a cookie. Callie's only hope is Prime Destinations, a disturbing place in Beverly Hills run by a mysterious figure known as the Old Man. He hires teens to rent their bodies to enders, who are seniors, who want to be young again. So, of course, they're desperate for money, so Callie does it, and then she finds out that not everything is what they think it is, or what it's supposed to be. So it sounds really cool, and that sounds a lot like the idea behind Dollhouse, and I loved that. That was a great show. I was really sad when it ended. So anyway, I think that's all we have, and that's a lot of fun books, and anyway, so there have been a lot of, keep your eye out this week for our book trailer Thursday, Mimi, because there have been a couple of really great book trailers coming out, so we will have some fun ones for that. Speaking of book trailers, if you want to see more about Starters or Partials, or they were all in previous book trailers, Thursday's posts that we did. So that's all I have to say. So, and we will have a giveaway coming up very soon for Nolly by Esther Henry, along with an author interview that we did. So stay tuned and let us know what you got for your Libby this week. We want to hear about it. Post it below and tell us what you got.
Thanks.
Have a good week. That was